Welcome back now to our next conversation. Zimbabwe launched the gold coins to be sold to the public in a bid to tame runaway inflation that has further eroded the country's unstable currency. We've seen other emerging market currencies also pressured at this time. Let's discuss the expected impact with Dr. Admire Maparadze-Dube, Head of Markets, Southern Africa Times Media. Great to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so tell me about this Mosi-Oa-Tunya gold coins.
Yes, the Zimbabwean authority introduced the Mosi-Oa-Tunya gold coin on Monday, the 25th of July, as you say, to perhaps stabilize economic challenges that the country is facing. The gold coin is going for the open market value of gold on the world market, but with a 5% premium on top, perhaps for minting and other logistical costs. But also we have to consider that it has other characteristics, which I can mention here now, maybe perhaps to say this gold coin is of 31 ounces, which is about 1 troy ounce, which is the standard weight measurement used on the international market. It is it's got a prescribed status, which means authorities have made it mandatory that some holders of large amounts of money, like mutual funds or insurance, have to buy a certain percentage. And also, it's tradable. It's got liquid status, just like our normal everyday currency. Yeah, that's it about the gold coin.
And does the Zimbabwean monetary authorities, what do they expect, from this issuance of gold coins?
Yeah, that question can be answered by looking at why we anticipate it was introduced. Of course, the authorities did not come out clear and mention why they're introducing it. But for us, the analysts were trying to add the mathematics here and look at the situation on the ground. And what we are realizing is that there are three major factors. The first one is of inflation, which is dually introduced because of global issues, for instance, like the conflagration in Ukraine, as well as local issues, like perhaps the fact that Zimbabwean government has no lines of credit at all. So, but at the end of the day, it has to deliver on the mandate, for instance, to build on infrastructure. So they looked inwards, and looking inwards, it meant, for instance, last year's national budget, about 34% of the national budget went to infrastructure development and 12% went to funding agriculture. So that's about 46% of the national budget being put into the local economy. So instantly, it then made the economy very liquid and awash with money. So we have a situation where, when you're looking at that amount of money in the economy, juxtaposed with the fact that it was a slowing economy emerging from the COVID era and the slowing generally in the world because of all the other geopolitical issues that are happening. And of course, some analysts are even pointing to the fact that the Zimbabwean national population is not growing as fast. That all led to a situation where there was so much liquidity, but not as much productivity. So this was very inflationary in the long term. So you have a government that goes to a situation where, by the way, we have to mention that under UN conventions, it's no longer possible. It's actually disallowed for government to leverage their local resources that are not mined yet for loans. So I'm sure the authorities then thought perhaps to introduce this gold coin, first of all, to mop up all the excess liquidity that I mentioned earlier, as well as to give a store for value for those who are holding on to large amounts of Zimbabwe dollar, because these people were then going into the parallel markets and trying to exchange their Zim dollars well they've got value because of the inflation, which was ending, by the way, at last count 191%, which was the second highest below Lebanon. But recently, I think 2 days back, it was announced that figure is surged even further to 256% annual inflation, which is extremely high.
Yeah, quite high. But who can buy these coins, and what are the modalities?
These coins, because they are 31 ounces and they are being charged, the cost is at global markets, which in your previous announcement just before I came online, you were saying the gold is now it's about 1,700 something US dollars. Then you add that 5% premium. This gold coin is going for about 1,800 US dollars, give or take, at today's gold market rates and those modalities. So the point is, you can tell that it's not meant for the common man on the street, because not many of us have got 1,800 lying around. You can tell that the intention was for the big entities who are sitting on those large amounts of money, like, for instance, the infrastructure developers, which I mentioned earlier. They're being paid in the local currency, the Zimbabwe dollar, and they get to sit on these large amounts of money. So you can tell that it's intended for them to then liquidate their Zimbabwe dollar by buying these gold coins. Even though these gold coins have got liquid status, which I anticipate in future you might get houses being sold and quoted in gold coins, but generally it's not for everyday purchase transactions like groceries and the like.
And do you think these gold coins are going to help? Because I've heard some analysts talk about, how this might not really help the FX situation there.
That's a very good question. And to be honest, the jury is still out on that. Coins only came out the 25th of July, hardly a week ago. But looking at the numbers on the ground, if the intention is to mop up the liquidity, which I mentioned earlier, you're looking at in excess of 400 billion Zimbabwe dollars they're trying to mop up. And the prices that are currently obtaining at the exchange rate that is there, you see that the government needs to pump up about 495,000 pieces of these gold coins. And 495,000 pieces to mop up that amount of money, that's about 15.6 tons of gold. Because mind you, this coin is of 22 karat gold and 99% purity. So that's a whole lot of gold in those coins, almost entirely composed of gold. So 15.6 tons is about half the productive capacity of the whole country. The country produces about 30 to 35 tons of gold a year. The feasibility of them taking half their productivity and putting them into gold coins is highly unlikely. So as analysts, we think there's some maybe exchange trading that is happening behind the scenes, with the authorities approaching those who are sitting on large amounts of money and promising them these coins over time. So the chances of these coins helping is definitely dependent on those sitting on large amounts of money playing ball and agreeing with the authorities. Because if they do not, then we have a situation where the gold coins will just be scratching the surface of the challenges that are happening in Zimbabwe.
All right. Well, we'll keep watching, those gold coins to see how it plays out for the Zimbabwean economy. Thank you so much, Dr. Admaya Maparadza, Head of Markets, Southern Africa Times Media. It was great having you on the program.
Thank you for having me.